Well, it's Thursday, and I know football is over, high school that is, but I'm still continuing my pastor's pick of basketball. There are really good basketball teams here in the Midlands, a lot of great players, and I'm going to feature my top five teams in the Midlands and my top five players in the Midlands. Here we go. Here's my top five teams in the Midlands. Start at number one is Hammond, and the reason why I like Hammond, I saw this team take on Spring Valley last Friday night. Last Saturday. It was a great game. Seventh was Xavier McDaniel. They had all the pieces, not just a starting five, but they have a great bench as well. Well-coached team, and they beat Spring Valley almost by 30. Therefore, they're number one on my list. Number two, Spring Valley. I dropped them down. Initially, I thought Spring Valley would be my number one team. P.J. Dozier, they're very athletic. They have some transfers in. They got a bench. This is a team that a lot of folks think that will win the 4A state championship. But when I saw them play on Saturday, I did not like the continuity that they had. Now, one of their better players is out with a knee injury, so that could affect this team and how well they can do in the playoffs. But I still like Spring Valley. With P.J. Dozier, there's a lot of high school basketball greatness that's possible. Number three is Dreer. Tevin Mack. That's all I need to say. I don't know many other players on this team, but this guy's been scoring like 35, 47, 33. I mean, he is a guy that can score. He can dribble and drive. He can shoot the three. He can rebound the basketball. He is one of the most complete high school basketball players that I have seen. Number four is Irmo. Tim Whipple, one of the best high school basketball coaches in South Carolina of all time. Highly respected in the business. His teams are very, very good. They've been good over the years, and they got a guy by the name of Devontae Schuler. He's pretty special as a sophomore. I like Irmo at number four. Number five is AC Flora. This is a team that won the state title last year. They returned 4 out of the 5 starters from that basketball team. When you look at them, they don't wow you, but the team chemistry is great. They play solid. They're well coached, and I think they'll be in the mix once again. So AC Florida Falcons round out my top 5 teams in the Midland at number 5. Now, here are my top 5 players because let me just say this. I go back to 1980s, the early 90s, where South Carolina basketball here in the Midlands were really, really good. JoJo English, Kerry Rich, Joe Rhett, Barry Manning, a lot of good basketball players. This group of players are very special, and let's look at these guys in my top 5. Number one is P.J. Dozier. He just signed with the Carolina Gamecocks. Frank Martin and the Gamecock Nation are very excited. This guy is 6'6", with handles, can shoot it. He can penetrate the basketball. And his IQ, basketball IQ, is amazing. He is the best player in the Midlands, one of the best players in the country. Number two, Seventh Woods. A lot of people want to compare these two. There's no comparison. Seventh Woods is a point guard with a lot of athleticism. And let me tell you, Saturday night, he dunked the basketball so crazy, the whole gym rocked. He is tremendously athletic. But he is at number 2. Don't compare these two players because they're totally different kinds of players. Number 3, Tevin Mack. I talked about him a little bit ago. He's a 6'6" guy, and that's a scorer. He's a guy that's going to do well, sign with VCU, Shaka Smart in that basketball team. I think his upside is tremendous. Number 4, Devontae Schuler. Guys, if you have not heard this name, 6'2" point guard, a big point guard with a lot of growth. A lot of folks saying that he could be the next big-time P.J. Dozier in the Midlands. A lot of folks saying this guy is going to be very, very special. If you watch him play as a young 15-year-old sophomore, very smart, good basketball IQ, really nice facilitator on the court. So I like his ability to be at court general. I think this guy's going to be special. And number 5, guys, Xavier McDaniel. You remember the X-Man, the guy who played the Supersonics and the Celtics. Well, that's his son, Xavier McDaniel Jr. over at Hammond. This guy, he has come leaps and bounds to what I saw him last year. He's very good. He can knock down a jump shot. He's a trashy player, meaning he don't mind getting on the floor, scrapping. He don't mind going after loose balls, but he has a great offensive mindset, but yet he plays really nice defense. I like Xavier McDaniel at my number 5, my top 5 in the Midlands. Now, you're going to hear a lot of this because after Watch Fox News at 10 tonight, the Captain Kerry Rich, former point guard for the Gamecocks, our new basketball show is called Overtime. We didn't change it. That's coming up next. We're going to get more and more into detail about these players, about these teams, and, of course, our game to watch of the week. That's Dreer and Hammond. That's coming up at the Watch Fox News at 10. That's going to do it for sports. We'll be back in just a moment.